Did you really go to a prostitute just for the joke of it? Just to be able to tell the story?
The fucking brass.
Is that true? And are you okay to talk about it?
What, the brass?
Yeah, you like
The brass.
you had a routine about going to see a prostitute, and you told people like you actually did it, and the only reason you did it was to get the stand-up material out of it. Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, that's method acting.
Yeah.
That is a proper comic sat right there.
That was a low point.
Was it a good bit?
I was really it was fucking quality, but I had to stop doing it. But I enjoyed telling it because I'd never done a story, you see, because I'd never had a story to tell that I thought was worthwhile telling. So I thought this one will be all right. I'll see how I get on with telling.
So you generated your own story.
So I did a 6 to 7 minute story because I'd like to do like a sort of a story, but I just never had.
At what point of sitting there on your 8th coffee with a blank piece of paper and a pen when you're like,
I don't do that. I don't do that. I just don't know what. I don't know how. You turn over so much material, and I'm just thinking like it just takes me something I'm thinking about, and I just can't generate. I think I've got quite a bit of material, but
every time I see you,
I just sort of forget about it and just keep because I'm just focused on 20s. Like I've never even entered my mind to do the Edinburgh run because one, it's expensive. Two, doing 60 minutes that I don't even like for 24 days to 8 people who are fucking all different. I'll kill myself for that.
But that first one, which is almost always like that, gets you to the second one that's better, and the third
I
one
do
that's,
think I need to do an hour, but it's just
not many
like,
people have absolutely creamed that
doing
first Edinburgh show.
20, 25, 30 of just stuff that I think's good. And
Do you notebook it rather than write?
I've got it in my phone, yeah.
Right.
I've got an idea, and then I think.
So what happened with were you like, I want a story, and then you're like, I'm actually going to go and do it?
It's just their thing, and I've never paid for sex, and I don't want to die having not done it.
Did you go for an away leg, or did you go for an away leg, or did you go for a home fixture? Well, I don't want to.
It's a whole different type of bucket list, that, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that was nothing but net. That was a good joke. Because I'd imagine like you don't want to go to like a brothel for the first time and be like, hey, Simon, I've not seen you since fucking
No,
year 10.
it was it took a bit of doing, to be honest with you. The first one was shut.
First one was shut. Fucking Tory cutbacks, that, isn't it?
First one was shut. I was like, this is the fucking,
austerity.
This is a disgrace, this. So
where did you go?
I
looking?
have no idea. Just
How did you
somewhere
find
in
them?
and around the city centre.
How did you
Well,
find
like it just the taxi man knows, doesn't he?
Oh, does it? Yeah. That takes balls, doesn't it?
Simon's well uncomfortable.
That takes balls, doesn't it, to get in a fucking black taxi and be like, listen, lad.
I was with Chris Sullivan.
Were you really?
What, did you take a chaperone?
He was just there.
Right.
He was just sort of a.
I don't know who Chris Sullivan is.
Right, I do not know. You know Chris Sullivan.
Yeah. Started comedy about the same time as Sam.
All right.
He sort of gave up.
Yeah.
No, that was I knew that question might crop up.
You had a feeling.
It did.
It did.
Yeah, no, I did that.
Simon, you can have it taken out if you want.
I think I like this reaction that I'm giving. I think it's a bit more authentic. It's a bit more. There's a bit more jeopardy in it, isn't there?
Simon's look of uncomfortable fear.
Would you do it again? I don't mean like. Would you?
Would I visit a prostitute again?
Have you
ever
regrets?
visited a prostitute?
No.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you?
I did, but mine's so pathetic. I did it, and I'd been clubbing, and then got talking to these lads from Coventry. We're in Birmingham, and they were like, one of them was like, we're going to a brothel, or one of them was, and the rest couldn't afford it. He'd saved up. So I went
in Birmingham as well.
I had about fucking 500 quid because I'd just been paid in cash.
Is that how much it costs?
No.
How much did you pay?
£15. So I went in and just got intimidated, couldn't get an erection, and basically paid a woman from, I think, Cyprus 70 quid to look at my small flaccid penis, and I apologised. I went, I'm really sorry about this. She was like, it's fine.
Did you keep your money, yeah?
Yeah. It's just not like, oh, listen, love, good try. Here's your 70 quid back. We've got a returns policy. And honestly, even within 14 days, if you decided you weren't happy with the shag, we'd give you a full refund. And here's your receipt, just in case. No, she was like,
You
yes,
said
dickhead.
sorry.
He couldn't get it up.
Yeah, but
Oh, mate, I was
saved yourself.
I had half a
money,
pill. I was like, I'm really sorry. It was one of the worst experiences. Not because, and a lot of people are like, well, you know, going to a sex worker is discrimination. It was anyone who literally watched the documentary of that night would be like, the real tragedy was how much of a bell end you made of yourself. So my experience is tragic.
Right.
I can't imagine, like, come on.
Well, I was saying that sounds like that's like just, yeah, it is quite tragic, that, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know, like, you know, when you hear that story, you're like, oh, well, you're just being really laddie. It's the most pathetic story. I quite like telling. I'm not sure what's worse. I think it's better that happened, because then I'm the idiot and that I didn't have sex with a sex worker. I just walked in, made a fool of myself, and then wandered off and felt shameful.
If anything, what you really did was pay for some private healthcare, really. It's more like Booper than prostitution, what you did. You gave a woman 70 quid to have a look at your dick.
We came downstairs and it was like, and she literally, there's like a reception area, and she went like that.
Kobe!
I am not even joking. She went like that, and I was like, that's code. I knew it. Didn't need to ask. I just sort of fucked off. But I knew that there was code going on. She looked to reception, and that was floppy dick Kobe. It was 100. She went.
Oh, right.
So she went to the reception. Yeah, the reason it was quick, because we were up there for about 14 minutes or so. I went, come on, little fella. Come on now. And he was like, no. It was awful.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. It's just tragic.
Was the lady you slept with attractive?
Adam's a dog with a bone here.
I've always been interested, and I just want to...
Horrific.
She have all of her teeth.
I don't remember, but probably not. I think she cried.
You think she cried?
I think she cried.
What?
Think she cried?
Was it first day at work?
No, she just had the sniffles, I think, afterwards.
Oh, yours is more depressing than mine.
How can you make a prostitute cry?
She's
no
like,
idea.
I wish I was working for minimum wage.
You know what's really funny? Imagine if, like, because that was your low point. Imagine if you were her low point too.
There's a good chance. That was the case. Yeah. That was that. I knew
Did you make her come?
What? Adam.
What, are you fucking kidding?
Adam.
You can't go anywhere near that. It's not like it's not a.
Adam's so confident. He'd be like, listen, I'd probably get a discount because she'd come so hard. Adam is so like, when Rowie D gets going, she'd be like, oh my God, babe. And she'd be American. She'd be like, oh my God, I'm not going to charge you. If anything, I'd like to give you £50 because this has been amazing.
So when you fuck a prostitute,
sex worker.
Okay. When you do that, do they not normally finish?
No, they're not. They're not.
They're not in there for the sex.
They're not.
What if they really love money?
Yeah, they
What?
do.
What if like they get turned on by the thought of?
What? So you're gonna be like David Dickinson? Just folding out an extra 20 to see if she gets all excited. I'm going to put down 250. No, 270, 290. I can't go any higher. I will go to 310. And she's like, oh.
Yeah.
If she's really turned on by money, do you reckon she might be working somewhere a bit more fucking exciting than somewhere in the city centre that a taxi driver knows about?
Yeah, the second one he went to.
Yeah. The one that's still open because the decent one's like,
in fact,
we shut
it might not have even been
But
a
maybe
brothel,
you're all
to be honest.
They just fucked
his auntie or some shit.
Mate, do you know any brothels? Yeah. Barbara, turn the duvet over. I've got another bell end.
Like, aren't you all being quite ignorant? Maybe some sex workers just love getting shagged. And
They don't.
Maybe some of them do. No. And if you find one of them, you could make her go off like
I think you
get
You could get escorts that like enjoyed it a bit more of a lavish sort of, visiting Kyle Walker, for example.
Yeah,
but not like
it's an industry like stand-up, and there are people in the industry who'll drive to Ashby de la Zouch for Spiky Mike to do 50 quid 15s on a Saturday. Am I right?
Yeah.
And then there's people who get £1,000 to do a Zoom corporate. There is levels to the industry. I imagine sex work is a little bit like that.
Yeah.
And I think Simon was involved in a £50 middle.